Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly reading for January 12th to the 18th. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to jump right in because that's how you like it, Gemini. Blue asterisk, always the best aspects of the week. And you know that you were saddled up for this month for 2026. You're being very serious about your goals. Oh, yeah, you are networking. You're building out your Trello board, your Monday.com. You're using your hands a lot. You're pointing at charts and at colleagues, employees, do this, do that, because you're in Capricorn season. You're being a boss, right? And you are riding the wave of last week's triple Cazimi, which includes the Sun and Mars that are still conjunct all week. So you are definitely going through some major transformation. This is your eighth house. So you know this is going to be a week. This is going to be a week. It gets deep. The eighth house is pretty deep, has everything to do with shared resources. So we're talking about royalties, loans, taxes, inheritance, investments, but also relationships, deepening relationships. At the end of the day, it's your personal transformation. And yes, eighth house is also sex. So there's intimacy here, but you're in Capricorn season. So it's intimacy and legacy for you. Now, everything that's happening this week and spilling over from over last week. Oh, yeah. Leading up to this loaded weekend. Remember, we've got almost a dozen aspects. Not everything's on the whiteboard. We'll go through it. Yeah, we'll go through it. And then the new moon in Capricorn. What? We'll talk about it. It's going to be really big for you. All right. And I'm actually really excited to do your forecasts here. But what really stands out this week is that you're going to see this hugely strong concentration in earth and water. It's all earth and water. And all the aspects that are happening this week, there's only 3 signs are happening in, okay? Which would be Capricorn, your 8th house, which would also be Taurus, your 12th house, and Pisces, your 10th house. So a lot of money and career stuff on the table, but also, yes, of course, there'll be love, but we'll talk about this 12th house activity. You will feel definitely grounded, very practical, pragmatic, maybe emotionally moved this week, or even emotional, because Monday, January 12th, not on the whiteboard, you have a pretty big aspect. And remember, in your January forecast, I said you got one challenging aspect this month. I said one challenging planetary aspect. Well, Monday, you have the Sun, Venus, and Mars. They're all traveling together. They're going to square Chiron in Aries. Okay. So, yes, that brings them some fire, but also Chiron isn't a planet. But here's the thing. This is a big deal. We'll talk about in the second spread where we talk about lunations and asteroids and planetoids. But just to give you let me just talk. This is going to be big. The reason why is because Chiron is the wounded healer, right? And so this is when old wounds can, come to the surface, especially when you are navigating your 8th house and your 12th house is activated this week as well. The 12th house is the subconscious, right? But Chiron is in Aries in your 11th house. So what does that mean? There may be something that you feel a little pressure and maybe a little emotional pressure about what you want to do for your future, or just about your future, or even friendships and groups that you belong to. That's 11th house energy for you. But just remember, Capricorn energy, that's fearless, right? And I'm only using that word to get through this, to tell you what's happening here. Remember, fear is fiction. It doesn't even exist. We create it up here. But again, that's strong. You have the support of all these planets in Capricorn that just gets things done. So should anything come up, it may be your leadership skills that are questioned. This is heavy cardinal energy territory. All right. So it's a good time, and likely from friends, likely from people that you just connect with. Okay. It could be colleagues. Doesn't matter. Okay. 11th house is connecting with people. It's your friendships, your squad, organizations you belong to. So should something come up, you might want to try different approaches, change the way that even you see yourself, because this is a time where you could become extra sensitive like everybody else. It's Chiron, right? But you got 3 planets squaring Chiron, including Venus. So you may be reassessing your values around this time as well. There may be a female figure, a mother, a friend, a female boss, a maternal figure. Yeah, they could stir things up. They could be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You really want to be a pro surfer? You're in law school." Like that kind of stuff. Okay. So just know that these moments give you the power to heal. And yes, Mars is here and Mars will square Eris later. But for now, listen, Mars is physicality, right? You've got the wounded healers. So this can bring a couple, bumps and bruises. Sometimes we accidentally walk into the sliding glass door holding a bag of, combos, whatever it is. Just be mindful. This is all I'm saying. Now, the other thing is, whatever path you choose, whatever path you're creating for yourself, there again, someone or even something could challenge it a little bit where it conjures up these old feelings, maybe of like, your sense of security. Like maybe you've never had a leadership position, okay? But last week you just got promoted at Home Goods as manager. And some of the employees are like, that should have gone to Sheila. You know what I mean? Like that, things like that could possibly happen. All right. So even though it's Chiron, remember everything that you are learning from in this moment, you're being honest with yourself, you're standing up for yourself and against anyone or anything that's questioning your goals, your leadership, your ambitions. The reason why this may be colleagues is because the moon will be in Scorpio as well. Now, if you're a subscriber, you know I talk about the moon in Scorpio. The good news is there's an intensity there. And Scorpio does rule the 8th house, which is the reason why there's some intensity there. All right. Emotional intensity, Scorpio being a water sign, but the fact that you've got a bundle of planets in Capricorn that rules your 8th house, that's Scorpio's home. You've got overlap. You might be doing some shadow work. It'll be great for you. But the good news is the moon in Scorpio will trine Jupiter and sextile Mercury, your ruler, and Mars throughout the day. So you're going to want to broaden your horizons. You are going to think about different, your capacity when it comes to the 6th house, which is what Scorpio rules for you. It's your everyday activities, your routines. It's self-improvement. It's also health as well. All right. Health matters. The moon obviously illuminates here. Okay. And it's 8th house where you do some detective work anyway. 6th house is also colleagues, it's employees, it's work. And that's why should something come up, might be in that area, but it doesn't exclude relationships and love and intimacy, like I said. So this is amazing. All right. With the moon, trine Jupiter, sextile Mercury, Mars, this is when you could really feel your transformation. You could feel something truly brewing for you. Around this time, you're going to want to bring more meaningful things into your life, and you're definitely going to be a little bit more expressive, especially with Mercury and Mars here. But just remember, it is the moon in Scorpio. Therefore, there could be some revelations. It could be you as well. This is definitely going to bring some clarity, confidence, a sense of direction as well. It could be deep. You could have some epiphanies. Okay. So that's Monday. All right. That's what we talk about in the bonus spreads. We go deep. We're talking about the moon. The moon's going to be in Scorpio opposite Uranus as well. Yeah. On Tuesday. We'll talk about the second spread, but Wednesday, here we go. You got Venus on January 14th. You got Venus, sextile Saturn, and trine Uranus. What? This is absolutely amazing because you're about to feel some really big shifts. And you got to see this as a package deal. They're really happening concurrently, and you're going to feel these aspects up until the weekend. This is a great example of divine timing, okay? Because Venus, as you know, is just reborn. She went through a rebirth with last week's conjunction with the sun, the Kazemi, right? She had a powwow with Mars, her cosmic lover, okay? He was also reborn as well. It's all happening all week. Yeah, the show's still going on. And he's exalted. So they are both in tip-top shape on a whole other level. Remember, They have not been in Capricorn since 1993 with Mercury, and this kind of set up all four of them, all four planets. So now Venus, the highlight here, right? Venus is meeting up with Saturn and Uranus. So two things. Venus, as you know, is all business. She's wearing her business suit. She's a bit formal. And Capricorn, she just met up with the Sun and Mars. Even the North Node, by the end of the month, she'll meet up with Pluto. That's almost the entire solar system. She's been negotiating for you. Okay? She's in Capricorn. She's in your eighth house. And so these days, yeah, she could fatten your bank account. There could be some. Venus is money in your eighth house. That has to do with money. So, and also love and relationships in your eighth house. That has to do with deepening relationships. If you're not here for love, it can be business partners. It can be, with the fact that the moon's in Scorpio for you and your 11th house is lit up. There could be here with friendships or colleagues or contractors, etc. But there really can be some movement here in terms of investments. Like you could set up, an Acorn account or something, right? Take everything out of Venmo. Like I'm going to get a high yield. I'll put this a high yield savings. These are the type of things that happen with the eighth house. Okay. You may be doing a lot of paperwork, but you're also working on creative projects. Venus brings business deals, by the way. She's in your eighth house. This is going to be big. She puts sparks in relationships. She brings those sliding doors moments. If you're single, yes, it's Venus. She's got to be with Uranus. So whatever it is for you here, it is part of your transformation. Remember, the biggest thing about the eighth house is death and rebirth, right? So Venus, Mars, they all went through their rebirth, and now you're going through it too. Okay. That's what they're doing for you to have this whole new you, right? Perfect timing, divine timing, right in January before we get to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. But that's the other thing. You need to have the death part for the rebirth part, right? So there are going to be parts of you still need to leave in the past, okay? You're going to see some strong potential, solid promise around this time as long as you are committed, okay? She's with Saturn, right? He's all about commitments, but he's in Pisces. So as long as you're committed with compassion, remember, he's the PE teacher this month. He's cool. He's cool. But this Venus with Saturn and Uranus, it really is defining or upgrading a relationship or a partnership or working on a new project or thinking about your future, thinking about investments, thinking about loans and taxes and paying off debts and all of that, right? Joint bank accounts, as long as it has legs, as long as you are in it to win it. This is not a Rachel Ross, will they, won't they situation. You're in or you're out. And looking at what's going on for you, you are in all the way. And with Venus sextile Saturn, it's a sextile. There are windows of opportunity that reward effort. Remember, you have to take that inspired action, especially with Saturn. He's going to stabilize things for you as long as you show up. And it's Venus who's charming and magnetic and social. And so, of course, Saturn is going to say, yeah, I'm going to help you. I'm going to build that bridge for you. Okay. For your goals, your long-term values. But you have to make sure it's realistic, what you want. It's practical, that there are boundaries, that you have a plan. And with Uranus and Taurus, when Venus is going to trine Uranus, Venus is the ruler of Taurus. She's at home here. She's got sway. So, of course, Uranus, the planet of change and breakthroughs, is going to say, yeah, duh, I will build you the door to the bridge. All you got to do is open it. But you got to do something different. You've had the same routine over and over and over, and it's 2026. So I want you to shake things up. I want you to have your awakening when it comes to money, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to what your heart desires. Okay, be innovative, be authentically you, but evolve, and I'll give you the keys. I'll even throw in security. Now, Uranus and Taurus, remember, that is your 12. And this is saying there's likely going to be some surprise events that are happening behind the scenes for you. It's a very great aspect. Okay. That would be the 12th house. It's 12th house is It's everything beyond the physical plane. It's a subconscious, it's rest and retreat, it's hidden matters. All right. So you've got the two houses out of the entire zodiac that are the most mysterious at play here. But either way, it's very likely you could have a financial breakthrough or a sudden opportunity. You won't know until you take action. Okay. So the thing here also, it's going to be very spiritual for you with your Venus, meeting up with Uranus and Taurus. Taurus also is a finance sign. So the fact again that you've got Venus in Capricorn, Venus money, Capricorn, your eighth house money, Taurus ruling finances. Do you see how they're making a big thing with money this week for you, Gemini? All right. So the other thing is just don't resist change. And a lot of this is going to be upstairs, right? With this 12th house activity for you, and maybe even very psychological with this 8th house activity for you. But definitely some career stuff too. All right. Because Saturn, Venus with Saturn, Saturn's in Pisces in your 10th house of career, fame, recognition, honors, achievements. Capricorn season is all about growing up and outgrowing things. Okay. So as long as you think outside the box and most importantly, initiate change, there is great potential here with money, with relationships, with new relationships, with creative projects, anything that your heart desires. Okay. You literally, there's got to be money stuff here. Right. Saturn makes it last long. So you will feel your values shift, whatever happens around this time. Yeah, it can be subtle, but it can be also very, very life-changing. And I'm throwing in contracts. I'm throwing in partnerships and relationships and love and marriage because the moon will be in Sagittarius both days. Yeah. And you blend well with Sagittarius energy. It's very adventurous. It's changing your worldview. It is happy-go-lucky, but Sagittarius does rule your 7th house. That has to do with love, relationships, contracts, marriage. It can like business partners as well. It can be one-on-one relationships like your sister, things like that. Anyway, if you're a cross watcher, if you watch for your rising or your moon or for your sister, Jenny, or for your dog, doesn't matter. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn will feel this the most. I am throwing in the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Yep. If you have any planets in your natal chart, 26 to 29 degrees in any of those signs, well, those planets will be aspected. You will feel it the most. Now, Friday, we will talk about the second spread. That's when Mars squares Eris. So we're going to talk about that asteroid, Eris, who is Mars's sister, okay, the goddess warrior. Yeah, this is some sibling rivalry. Just know that this day, you're going to want to ask yourself, do I want to build bridges or do I want to burn them down? All right. Now, where are we? Oh, yeah, we're at the point where I hope that you are really strapped in for the weekend, Saturday, January 17th. Now, you got Venus exiling Neptune at 29 degrees, a critical degree. This is a big deal. All right. Remember, this is it. You are never going to have this aspect again, ever. Neptune will move into Aries like 10 days from now, 14 days from now, the 26th. Okay. And so we'll be there for 14 years. You're never going to have Neptune in Pisces again. And so this is really, really, really wonderful. It brings these very creative energies to you. It is in your 10th house of career, fame, and your reputation. If you're not here for career, just how you want to be seen, but also achievements and social status. But this is so artsy and beautiful, and it's all about compassion and imagination. Pay attention to your dreams, please. This is going to be huge. You got Uranus activated in Taurus in your 12th house of dreams as well. So this really is this happening? Is this real? That kind of energy, because it is so spiritual and magical and inspiring. And you got the sun. Yeah. This high frequency vitamin D, sextiling Saturn and trine Uranus as well. Okay. Same thing Venus did. Remember, those planets are traveling together. Means Mars is going to do it next week. So your 10th house is really being activated this week. Okay. The sun, as you know, is a life force. It's the way you express yourself. And this weekend, you're going to feel that you have presence, especially with the sun sextile Saturn, which only happens twice a year. And remember, the next time it's going to happen will be June in your birthday season. Okay? You know, Saturn is moving too. He's going to be in Aries a month from now. Very different vibe when we get to your birthday. And a good one, FYI. But anyway, this day, yeah, you could have opportunities for leadership roles. You could get recognition, validation, achievements through career. You could feel extremely optimistic about your goals, your determination just through the roof. Okay. And with the sun trine Uranus, which happens twice a year, the next time will be September. And as you know, that will be completely, Uranus is going to be in your sign by then. Uranus is going to be in your sign by April. All right. So again, very different feel. These only happen twice a year, but for this, yes, this is going to be your breakthrough. This is where you're going to want to take risks. This is where that feeling of feeling stuck is just unstuck. Your brain is in everything's, you're having psychic pops. Yeah. You're having it's your 12th house. Okay. So this is very interesting. It's very nice for you. 12th house is also healing. It's like personal healing as well. So really, really great. You may want to try new things. All right. It's Uranus who does want you to shake things up. And you know, this is that feeling of, I've got one life to live. I'm going to make the best of this moment. Anything is possible. Yeah. That enthusiasm, that optimism with the sun here. And you have Mercury conjunct Mars. And remember, they're both in Capricorn. So this is sharp. Okay. It's strategic. It's planning. It's decisive. This is, I got Mercury in Capricorn in my natal chart. I can tell you all about Mercury in Capricorn in the 8th house where it exists. There's possibly you got to be into the metaphysical and the occult and, astrology, things like that. Right. So that's 8th house energy. Remember, mysterious things, but it's Scorpio, but also money, maybe a thing for you because it's Mercury conjunct Mars. All right. And with that said, yes, this helps you walk the walk, talk the talk, shoulders back, right? But just remember not to be too assertive, it can be like strong. Okay. And the moon is in Capricorn this day anyway. It's already here. The moon in Capricorn is very no nonsense. But you also got Venus moving into Aquarius. So this is the only non-water Earth planetary activity, but it's an ingress on an aspect. You're going to have Venus in Aquarius the rest of the month. You're going to love this. This is your BFF, fellow air sign Aquarius. Now you move into this fun, I feel at home, I'm loquacious. This is dreamer energy, right? Venus is a lot more free, feels a lot more free in Aquarius. This is when you do dream big. You still stay grounded, but this is all about what's possible. This is you having very stimulating thoughts and conversations and even spiritual ones. It's your 9th house. This spirituality, your worldview, your philosophies. You're going to be thinking about taking big trips. A lot of it will be new people that you meet or, your current friends, your family, whoever it is. A lot of y'all are going to go back to school and you're going to love it. And a lot of y'all are going to be teaching and imparting wisdom and you're going to love that too. All right. You're going to embrace your eccentric side. Okay. Rather than sticking to traditional. All right. And standing out for that. And friendships, yeah, they do become a priority. And rather than like pointing at things and colleagues and coworkers, you're collaborating now. This is Aquarius energy. Okay. You care less about power, which is all Capricorn. And instead you perhaps question it because Aquarius isn't just the rebel of the zodiac. Aquarius rules humanity, the collective. Your values shift toward the greater good for all. Now, the last thing is Sunday, January 18th. You got that new moon, Capricorn 28, 29. That's a very late new moon, just like every other new moon that we've had the past 6 months at those late degrees. Anyway, so yeah, true changes, true. Y'all, everybody's going through, you go through big changes. This is in your 8th house. This is big, all right? One of the biggest new moons for you all year long. Everything that you've been working on toward your goals, toward your legacy, everything with relationships and building relationships, as well as money, investments for your future, all of that. Well, here is your big moment to have it all. As long as you have conviction. This is Saturn rule. Yeah, this new moon. Mars conjunct Mercury, yeah, baked into it. But the moon will also trine Uranus, and it's going to sextile Neptune and Pisces. So you have a mini grand trine for this new moon. That's how big. This new moon is getting a surge of energy from Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus. And those energies will unfold throughout the next week, where you already got these potent aspects that you know are coming next week if you saw your January forecast. So this is the new moon heard around the world, because you also have on Monday, the day after, Saturn sextile Uranus. And remember, those are outer planets. Those are that's part of the prism portal. But because they're outer planets, you're going to feel it during this new moon. In fact, the entire weekend. In fact, this week, right? So there is, like I said, something truly brewing for you here in a really big way. That's going to change the course of events for you for months to come. And this is possibly you breaking from tradition and doing something that's more you, all right? That's more the new you. You're moving into gray season the next day anyway, which is, remember, marching to your own drumbeat, all right? So, c'est la vie. And I did talk about your monthly forecast. This is the last of its kind new moon. Yeah? It's a true ending and beginning, especially for you, because it's in your 8th house, no one else's 8th house, yours, Gemini. And the 8th house is endings and beginnings. So, yeah, it's all you're setting yourself up. More power to you. This is amazing. Your foundations, your career, your legacy. Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, is going to make sure that you're focused and realistic, and that you take your goals far. And one last thing, you will have Mercury trine Uranus, okay? This does expand your consciousness, makes you feel incredibly open-minded to be more experimental. Remember, Mercury is the lower octave of Uranus. They work well together. They have to. They're related. They help you innovate. This is stimulating. That's happening during this new moon. It brings unexpected news, announcements, breakthroughs, even your awakenings, right? It is your 12th house. So you've got to take advantage. Please set intentions. Please make executive decisions. Make big moves. Lock things in. Be the author of your story. Where do you want to be when we get to July for the corresponding full moon in Capricorn? This new moon is like a portal, all right? So earth signs, by the way, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Thorn and Water will feel this new moon the most. But if you got planets 27 to 29 degrees in any of those signs, yeah. And yeah, well, thanks to everybody who joined Great Awakener. So listen, here's the thing. If you have planets in those late degrees, you've really been going through it. They've been pounded and pounded. You've seen me week after week saying 26 to 29 degrees, 20, all those late degrees, because those retrogrades, and that's just where we're at right now. I got 5 planets between 26 to 29. Oh yeah, I felt it, but that's the point I'm making. Saturn will soon move into Aries. Neptune soon move into Aries. Everything's changing. So by next month, you're going to start hearing me say, if you have planets between 0 to 2 degrees to 3 degrees, that's how big of a change this is going to be. All right, let's get started. Gemini, let's see what's going on for you for January 12th to the 18th. Gemini, thank you. Gemini, I do a traditional, how are y'all doing? You look so good today. Love the hair. You're looking amazing. Gemini, it's at Venus and Capricorn in it. Eighth house is transformation. I do a traditional cult to crossbred, offers the best overview if we need to, especially for a weekly reading, and if we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. Gemini, secondly, Gemini, y'all are raising. I'm gonna, well, I am really excited to see what's going on. Okay, let's do this. Let's just do this. Yeah, just, yeah. Just as I would have expected. Um, you're really good here. You're gonna get a little. You see what's you're good. Like, look, you got the Seven of Swords. That's fine. It's your recent past. You were maybe in a situation where there's a lot going on in your head. And you're like, am I being honest with myself? Is this real? Is this path real for me? Why is everything like still, well, because Neptune's at 29. And so this, it is an Aquarius card. Yeah. It's attributed to Moon in Aquarius. Guess what happens when the moon leaves Capricorn? The next day, the moon will be moving into Aquarius. So starting next week, you're going to feel that energy. But that's, again, your ninth house, which is very spiritual. It's spirituality. It's your belief system, your worldview. It's education. It's book publishing. It's broadcasting. We'll talk about it. But either way, remember, it's also freedom. Aquarius rules, yeah, in your future. And so you can see he is looking back. You want to keep moving forward. So it feels like you were going through a period of doubt. Yeah. Going through a period of like, maybe there were some things that you wanted to say, you didn't quite say it or it didn't come out the way that you wanted. Either way, what a great week to just let it out, right? Remember, with Chiron being active, really and Moon and Scorpio really letting things come to the surface. Okay. That's the most important thing. 2025 is over. And like I said earlier, you may still need to leave some things back in 2025. And when you do, you're golden. You're literally going to be, this is your week. You got the Empress in the heart of your spread, the Empress who's a goddess, the Empress that lives life through pleasure and her passions. This is someone who holds the golden scepter, only one of two people that creates all this abundance and luxury. This is money. This is love. This is super conscious love. You see the symbol of Venus in the stone-shaped heart. And yeah, this is all about creation. I just did that intuition class on Great Awakener. I talked about, about Nikola Tesla is 369, the formula of 369. Yeah, we talked about it. Three is creation. Okay. It's also growth and advancement and even creativity, but right there. All right. Something new being created. This is amazing. Okay. This is wonderful. And yeah, there's sensuality here too. There's sexuality. I mean, eighth house is sex. Did I tell you that? It's sex. So intimacy, things like that. Right. But you're good. You're absolutely good. Just hold on to that golden scepter. Now you have the King of Swords in your challenge area. There he is, right? There's that authority. There's that boss. There's that, parental figure, whoever it is that you may not see eye to eye with, or someone that's a little, poking the bear with Chiron and Aries. Okay. Again, it could be like a friend or a male friend. You got it. King of Swords is Aquarius as well. Could be an Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon. But at the end of the day, it's just not seeing eye to eye with someone who's, just as bright as you. Okay. And so do you want to go in circles and, it reaches this point of fatigue when you're not seeing eye to eye, when your beliefs are clashing. It's like, hey, you want to put the pencil jar on this shelf. They say, no, we got to put it on this shelf. You gonna argue about that for 14 hours? No, you're gonna let that go. That's draining your energy. All right. So this is just saying there may be a moment someone comes up a little strong. Swords are words, swords are thoughts. Yeah. And it's the King of Swords who can be a little bit intimidating, but at the same time, it could also be a message for you just saying, be mindful this week. Okay. But when I say that, yeah, don't come up too much, but also have enough. All right. Because it is saying that, listen, you've got to own your power. Now, you have that Eight of Pentacles, you got the Page of Swords. This is why I think you're going to be fine. Eight of Pentacles it's great. You're thinking about your legacy. You're building toward it. That's exactly what he's doing. And so you're learning. There's this process of learning. Practice makes perfect. All that energy. This is a Virgo card. Yeah, Sun in Virgo. So remember, there's that perfectionist energy with Virgo. You and Virgo, you would know just as much as how this is like when you work toward your goals, not distracted. I mean, you see the payoff, right? And that's because you and both Virgo are ruled by Mercury. But either way, that's great. All right. There could be some new skill that you're learning as well this week or that you want to learn, but whatever is happening, you are so committed. Okay. He will be successful. Now, that Page of Swords and the root of your spread, but also you have to consider you got two pages. You have the Page of Cups as well, right in your future. So this is just you just having this new, right? There's a new way of thinking. There's likely something that, again, you need to say. I would say it, okay? And a lot of it is like, I think that some of y'all are going to have big announcements this week, or even just something that is, really it's this feel good energy. There's this enthusiasm there, but also remember how learning may be a big thing for you this week, okay? And it doesn't have to be like literally classes. It can be your journey. It can be your karmic journey, your soul journey, all of that. But there is, with that Page of Swords here in the reader spread, a little bit of like, yeah, that enthusiasm. I really want to absorb all this new knowledge. I want to, for my new path, new journey, all of that. And then you have the Page of Cups in your future. So that brings in so much heart. This is someone who wears his heart on his sleeve. And so this, you following your bliss, it looks like something's coming through. Someone's coming through as well. All right. If you're here for love, there you go. Right. This is someone who can attract whatever she wants. Remember that she creates all this abundance. And when you are at that high frequency, when that light inside you radiates, oh, people start coming your way, right? So there it is. Could also be, pages are messengers. It could be a big message coming through. It could be Page of Cups, right? Cups is emotions and feelings and even intuition. And remember, your 12th house will be activated. So could even be downloads that you got, messages that you needed to hear. But either way, this is just expect something to come into your life. New, maybe even unexpected. Someone or something, new colleague, new boss, or lover, whatever it is, or a message. Let's get to yourself about that. Gemini, y'all are amazing. If you like this reading, it'd be great. If you like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. This is going to be a week. This is going to be a week. And remember, even with all that Sagittarius energy, the moon is Sagittarius. Oh, yeah. Remember, that is in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. It's going to be a big week regarding that for you. And a lot of y'all are moving in this direction of, I'm doing what I want. I'm seeing everything happen for me. And things are coming into my world. Gemini. Let's see what's going. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. What are we? You're gonna get again. You get that? All right. You're the 2 of Cups. You're really good. So what I've said, partnerships will be a big thing for you this week. This is all about sharing. It's sharing. It's opening yourself up to other people. This is the soulmate card, the twin flame card, the true love card in layman's terms, right? This is that card. You see the winged lion, all that passion. You see the caduceus healing. They're offering each other their cups of water. What is water? Water heals. Okay. Water flows. This is absolutely amazing. So this is just opening yourself up to that opportunity to meeting the one, whether in love, whether in business, whether in friendships, whether platonic, it doesn't matter. This is amazing. It seems like that is something that you are, manifesting this week too. You've got the world in your external factors area. Congratulate yourself. You've moved on. You've passed the test. Remember, you're going through your death and rebirth phase through Capricorn season. Come Monday, you move into Aquarius season. There's a whole new you. Congratulate yourself. You got the world, the end of the major arcana and your external factors area. And you know, this is like, that was a journey. That was a journey. You got highs and lows. You got polarities. You went through a lot. You went through a lot. You're good. Things are ending for these new beginnings. Now, Six of Cups, amazing. You just want to let your hair down. This is sharing. This is kindness. You got 2 cards where they're sharing cups with each other. This is truly you opening yourself up. Remember what I said. A lot of that what's happening this week is Chiron and Aries will be aspected by 4 planets in your 11th house of friendships, of connecting with people. Yeah. But also your 7th and your 8th just really, fired up as well, which is all about partnerships, relationships. And this is really great. This is a lot of harmony here. And so that's why I love the Six of Cups. Is like yours is ready to be in this place where you feel protected, where you feel secure, where you feel nurtured, or when you can nurture as well. This is nostalgic energy. And lastly, you have the Hangman. Amazing, right? And your final outcome, because he's ready. He's ready for change. In fact, the Hangman comes right before the Death card, right? So he's preparing for himself for this transformation. And in order to do that, you've got to make some surrenders. The reason why he's hanging himself upside down is because he wanted to see the world in a new way. Remember, you're about to have a 5-planet conjunction in your 9th house of your worldview, of your belief system, of your philosophies. All right? Why did he want to see things in a new way? The old ways were no longer working. Out with the old, in with the new. You're in your death and rebirth phase right now with that new moon kicking off something really nice coming into your life, Gemini. Thanks so much. I want to do something here. I'm doing this for every time. I'm going to say, what's your biggest message? We're going to use the Tarot of the Divine. What's the biggest message for Gemini for this week? This is what we do in the bonus spread. Pull more cards, okay? But this week we are going to do a spread just on that new moon. I want to isolate that. It's big. It's big. All right, Gemini. Your biggest message is you better work with an E or an N and O. You got a lot of work stuff happening. You got the Fool. You're good. Your biggest message, take those leaps of faith. That builds confidence. Take those risks. Yeah. These calculated risks. Trust your intuition, most of all, when you do, but everything's changing. Okay. You got the world in your external factors area, that wreath shaped as a 0, referencing the Fool, card 0, onto new journeys. Okay. You're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. Gemini, thanks so much. Next week, yeah, we'll talk about the 5-planet conjunction you're about to experience. Pluto's coming off the bench. He's about to do some power plays. You got Saturn, sextile Neptune. You got a lot happening next week. And then, yes, tier 3 members, really good and legendary members. The bonus spread, we'll talk about these, all these chironic activities, but also the moon in Scorpio, etc. There is that opposition. And then Mars squaring Aries will be a big deal. But anyway, talk about that. We'll do spread just on the new moon. Anyone's welcome to join. We have so much fun. Gemini, thanks so much. Y'all are amazing. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.